Well, hello and welcome to the channel. Well, I'm already in the car and I'm out and about somewhere, and I've come to test something that I've never actually used before. It's a new piece of gear, nothing too exciting, but it's something I've always wanted to try, and today I'm going to give it a go and see what it's all about. I bought myself a Monopod. But before I kick off, I'm just going to relax, have myself a coffee and enjoy this. So where's the best place to come to test this Monopod out? Well, it's a parkland and it's right in the Cheshire countryside. That's right, it's Alton Park. So I've come to Alton Park. You can probably hear the cars racing around in the background, and it's an MSV track day today. I was tempted to bring the Audi and actually put it on the track, but it's just too pretty. But no, the intentions today are just to come around and do a little bit of track photography and yeah, just sort of see what I can get with this Monopod. I'll explain the reasons why as we go on. So I've just spent about 20 minutes on Druids Bend there, and yeah, so far the Monopod actually works quite well. Now the problem with that Druids Bend is it's a little bit slow, so what I want to do is go somewhere that's a little bit quicker. What they do, the cars come up straight up the hill, underneath the bridge and onto that bend, and because it's quite a long swooping right hand bend, yeah, they are a little bit slow. I mean, I say slow, they are still, yeah, clocking it around there, and got a couple of shots of a car coming off, but yeah, I'm going to head further down, just try and get a bit of speed and try and utilize this this Monopod actually for what it's for, and yeah, so far so good. I never really understood the idea of a Monopod because they're not stable enough to really do any landscape photography, any long exposure shots, but they're good just to utilize for panning around. So things like the Mac Loop and certainly a racetrack like here, yeah, they seem pretty good. The only reason why I ventured into buying one is because last time I was here, the official photographer here was actually used one, and yeah, it got me thinking. The tripod's a little bit too clumsy, you can't really pan around quick enough with it, and yeah, this seems to suit the bill. I'm just having a little bit of respite now. Unfortunately, the red flag's gone up, so somebody's had an accident somewhere, so they've closed the track. The safety car's just gone round, so hopefully everybody's okay and it's just somebody has come off and stuck in the gravel. Fingers crossed. So how am I finding the Monopod so far? Well, I've got to say, currently it really works and I'm really enjoying using it. One thing about coming into a location like this and shooting so many images, I've taken best part 1,200 so far, and I've only been here 2.5 hours, so yeah, sort of going through the memory card quite a bit. But yeah, the best thing about the Monopod is when you've got certainly the D850 and I've got the 70-200 f2.8 on the front, it's quite heavy gear. So what the benefit that this has got is it takes a lot of that weight away. So you're still got a lot of the flexibility you've got when you're handheld, but also it takes a lot of the weight away. So my arms aren't aching, my back, my shoulders aren't aching. I'm starting to sound like a bit of an old man there, but when you've been shooting here all day, that's the first thing that starts to give. Your arms, your hands, and certainly your shoulders, with the tension of taking images with such a weight as this sort of gear. So yeah, so far it's working quite well. Let's put it this way, it's been easier to shoot. Looking in the back of the camera as well, it feels as if the images are quite sharp as well. When I've come here in the past, I've managed to shoot down to well, probably 200th of a second. Well, I'm now managing to get 100th of a second and 160th of a second. So yeah, I managed to get the shutter speed at that a little bit slower to incur motion blur behind whilst keeping the cars clear. Now obviously I won't be able to tell until I get the images properly into the computer and sort of understand actually what I've taken. I mean, that's always a testament, but yeah, so far so good. Judging by the sound, I think they've reopened the track, so obviously it wasn't that serious. So we'll go back into a location and start shooting again. Take a nice hit here while I'm waiting for them to restart again. There's been another red flag, and yeah, seems to be making a habit of this, but yeah, again, hopefully everyone's okay. Well, that's not a good sign really, is it? So yeah, like I say, hopefully everybody's okay. Oh, it's such a shame because it's such an enjoyable event. It's such a great place here. It's such a good atmosphere, and you know, people doing exactly what they love. And yeah, when you see stuff like that, I don't know, it makes it sort of brings it back down to reality a little bit, I think. But yeah, not good. So the main reason for purchasing the Monopod was purely for events like this. Every now and again I will go to the Mac Loop over in North Wales and shoot some of the planes. I know Sarah wants to go this year, so we'll probably go and take all the camera gear. So it'll be beneficial for that. But certainly on track days, things like this, it's worth its weight in gold. It cost me, I think it's about 32 quid, 33 quid. Now I saw them for sale for around about 200, and I thought, is it worth investing so much into it? Not really. I'll have a quick go at this and sort of see what it's like, and I've got to say, I can't fault it. It's light, it's made out of carbon fibre, so it's not going to be cold in the middle of the winter, and yeah, the flexibility of it is just absolutely phenomenal. I'm looking over there because that's where it's dumped. So if you've got an interest for things like track days or shooting things that are fairly fast, I think they'll even be more beneficial on weddings as well, instead of setting up the whole tripod. I know I'm making a tripod sound as if it's really difficult to set up, and it isn't, don't get me wrong, but it is more clumsy, it is bigger, and you know, it does take a lot more space, whereas things like this, absolutely fantastic. I get it, you're not going to be able to do long exposures with it, you're not going to be able to shoot anything, let's say 30th of a second or slower, but certainly above that range, yeah, it's absolutely perfect. I've not faltered once today with that. I've not felt restricted in any way, and I'm sure if I was here with a tripod, it would feel really, really restrictive. Touched on earlier about the shutter speed and how low I've managed to actually get the shutter speed down to here. Previously it's about 320th of a second. I've actually managed on some of the bends to get down to 80th of a second. Now granted, all of those images won't turn out. When I've been here handheld, out of 100 shots you're probably able to save probably about 10. Now that might just be me. I might not be the most stable shooter in the world, but with this Monopod I've managed, personally myself, I've managed to get down to a lot slower. Like I say, 80th of a second on some of these bends. So with reducing the shutter speed so much, I've managed to really get that background blur, that sort of look of these images that I'm really trying to go for. So far I would really have to recommend it, and I'd possibly give it a 5 stars. I know these are fingers, but the stars will be on the screen. So whilst I've been doing my bits of the camera then, it's really quite eerie here because it's, I don't know, it's a racetrack all morning. It's been cars whizzing by, there's been real sound, and this smell, the smell of fuel, burnt fuel and hot brakes, hot clutches, things like that. And it's amazing, it's just gone. We've just got these red flags in the distance, these red lights flashing. And yeah, it's a little bit eerie. Certainly when you know that somebody around this track is yeah, not having the best of days. Oh, it's not good. I wanted to put the Audi on the track and give it a track day, but every time I go to click purchase and book myself a track day session, something just stops me. Being sat here now, knowing that it can go wrong so quickly, I just wonder whether it's worth it. It's probably one of those things I'm going to have to do one day. Like I say, I've recently got that car back on the road. I wanted to, yeah, sort of get it ready and just really just enjoy that car this summer, and that's what I want to do. And possibly doing a track day would, yeah, it would be up there. I would love to do it, certainly in that Audi, and I wouldn't hammer it. It's not the sort of car I'll batter it around, but I'd love to see what sort of speeds it can do and just enjoy it for what it is. But this does bring it crashing down back to reality. So it was the Evo that's crashed, and yeah, they managed to get off the track now, so no doubt we'll start racing again in a bit. So yeah, such a shame. So the racing's back on, but I've managed to get myself something to eat. So yeah, I've gone for a roasted beef wrap, and I've got to say it's absolutely gorgeous. And here they've got so many facilities. There's a full cafe or a full restaurant there as well, so you can sit in. But I thought I'd sit in the car and yeah, watch the action and yeah, enjoy my chips and my beef wrap. See you in a bit. So the drivers are still on dinner, and I'm just spending this time, just utilising this 20 minutes, 25 minutes or so, just to go through and get rid of any images that I just know aren't working. Because the problem I've got, I'm now starting to run out of SD space. I should have brought 2 memory cards, but no, I didn't. So yeah, I'm just whizzing through them now. I've still got, I can still take 687 images according to the counter. That does vary slightly, but yeah, if I can give myself another 100, because I know that as I've panned around, I've got a couple of images with there's tannoy speakers around the park as well. So I've got a couple of images where I've panned around, and yeah, it's just taking an image of the tannoy speaker, which. But yeah, I'm just deleting anything that's not framed correctly. But looking through, yeah, I'm quite impressed. I'm quite impressed actually with the accuracy that certainly the trackability trackability I've got with the Monopod. It's given me that flexibility to be able to move and actually pan and sort of only worry about when I'm panning across to keep up with the vehicle instead of moving up and down, because it does stay pretty rigid. I was a little bit concerned maybe I'll still get a bit of shake with it, but no, I'm not. If you just move the Monopod, there's actually a hand grip. In fact, here we go. Here's the culprit here. There's actually a hand grip in the middle. So if you keep hold of that and spin around with it as you're taking the shot, yeah, it seems to work, and that works for me. So yeah, quite impressed with it. I think it's working. So yeah, going to spend the next couple of minutes just going through these images, just deleting anything that I know I'm not going to be able to salvage. So yeah, catch you in a little bit. So that's me spent 128 gigabytes on the memory card, completely full, and yeah, I should have brought some more, but I just didn't really think. But yeah, that's my downfall. So I'm going to head home now, have a look what I've got. But yeah, I think the Monopod has certainly paid for itself here. It's been great. It felt great. It felt good to use. I don't feel as tired. I don't feel as if, you know, I've taken out my shoulders, my arms, or my wrists, holding the D850 with the 72-200 on. So yeah, it's been quite a breeze using it. So yeah, I think that's part of photography, isn't it? Making sure you're comfortable. So I'm going to go home, have a look at the images. I mean, let's face it, the proof is in the pudding with the images. Yeah, have a look at the images, see what I've got, see how many of these have actually turned out, and we'll yeah, I'll join you from home, and yeah, sort of give my a bit of a final recap on it. So yeah, catch you home. See you in a bit. Bye bye now. Well, how cheesy was that? Sorry about that turnaround. I thought it would look better than it actually does. So it's a couple of days later. It's not, it's actually about a week later. By the time I got home, put the images on the computer, went through, I think it was 1,362 images in the end. Going through in more detail of what I could actually save and what was completely rubbish. Yes, certainly took a lot of time, but I'm there now, the images are ready, and you've seen them on the video. Job done. So what are my final thoughts on that day, and more importantly, the Monopod? Is it worth investing? Well, like everything, it's down to you and what you'd actually use that for. As I said in the video, it's great for action and sports. Certainly something like the track day was phenomenal. I also mentioned it would be great for the Mach Loop and sort of photographing planes. Basically anything that's moving quick. All sporting events like football, rugby, that sort of thing, yeah, it'll be absolutely ideal. And you see these things being used all the time, certainly by professional photographers. The press tend to use them quite a lot, and yeah, I really understand why. I know I mentioned in the video as well on how difficult tripods are to use. I probably exaggerated that a little bit, but you get what I mean. People who use tripods on a regular basis, they can really slow you down. Now in landscape photography, sometimes that's a good thing, but when you need to get that shot, maybe it's not. And that's where the Monopod comes in. Other thoughts as well, a lot of museums won't allow you to take tripods in because of the size, the actual floor space they take up. Now a Monopod is no bigger than actually just using the camera. So you may be able to get away with using a Monopod in a museum. That's something I might try in the future, and I'll certainly do a vlog on it if I can. So my final thoughts on the Monopod. Is it worth it? Was it worth it as an investment? As I said in the video, it cost me just over £30, and I believe you can even get them cheaper. But for me, this feels ideal. I've got my usual tripod head. I've actually taken the tripod head off the tripod, and yeah, plonked it on this and everything fit quite well. So it's going to be secure, which is key. Before I ordered this, I was a little bit concerned, would it actually be tall enough, certainly at that price? And it is. It does actually go up above what I can actually look through on the viewfinder. So yeah, don't worry about the size. It's extendable as a tripod would be, these sort of twist grips, and yeah, dead easy to sort out and get into a decent position. I also mentioned in the video about the hand grip as well, and this seems to be the best way to use it. I was spinning round with just using the camera, but no, one hand on the hand grip, turn it as you pan around, and then press the trigger with your other hand as you're spinning around, and yeah, makes for quite a stable shot. Now, shutter speed. Now, in that video, I said that I went down to 1/80th of a second. And I did, for a number of shots. And although a lot of them did work out much more than they would if I was going handheld, it was a little bit too brave. For me, I found the best shots, obviously depending on how fast the cars were going, but between 120th of a second up to about 200. I just think 80th of a second was a bit of a risk, and I've lost a couple of images that I really wanted to process. A lot of them being that gorgeous Mustang and that Lotus Cortina. They were stunning examples of cars, and pretty quick too. So there we go. Would I recommend a monopod in your kit? Well, it all depends what you're shooting, but if you're after something that's easier to use than a tripod, you can get it away in certain areas and much easier, and you're not necessarily concerned about long exposure photography, then a monopod is absolutely fantastic. And I certainly wouldn't recommend you spend a lot of money on these. £30 for me seems to have done the job. I'll obviously do some reviews as we go along and sort of let you know how this is getting on, but yeah, so far so good. And with the images I've managed to capture, yeah, more and more delighted with it. I'm really looking forward to another track day, and I'll certainly be taking the monopod. And who knows, maybe I'll take the Audi. So I better draw this video to an end. If you enjoyed the video and the images, give me a thumbs up. If you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing. It'd be great to have you on board the channel. And let me know in the comments, what was your favourite image? What was your favourite car? And whether you actually got on monopod yourself. It would be great to hear your feedback. So from Alton Park last week, Warrington today, it's time to finish this video. All the best, take care, next video out very, very soon. Bye bye now. Boo!